Welcome to the weekend. It's Saturday, January 3rd. Welcome to the latest Lone Wolves Detroit Lions podcast. I'm your favorite trusted NFL podcaster, Dan Campbell's favorite NFL reporter. I'm the Doc, John Macaroon. Casual, hopefully enjoyable conversation today. Always, every day that ends in Y, you can fire up the microphone and talk about the Detroit Lions. And you know, I'm definitely interested, invested. Others are tired. They're ready for the offseason. They're ready to hit Cancun, ready to go back to their cribs in Metro Detroit. Nope, I'm ready to keep working, talking about the draft, answering your questions. Still a game to go. All the interesting things to talk about. I'm letting you in on the things I'm thinking about this offseason. My quarterback series started. If you follow me on X, you understood I went on a quarterback journey. You guys keep saying, well, who's better than Jared Goff? I don't know if there's better, but I feel like clearly one of the changes you got to make is you got to have some level of competition for Jared Goff. You got to add, this is similar to what the Packers did. They did it successfully. They had Brett Favre. They went and got Aaron Rodgers. They had Aaron Rodgers after winning a ring, after a decade of not really doing much in the playoffs. Boom. Up and down in the playoffs. They still make it. They went and got Jordan Love. That seems to work, and I'm definitely down for that. So I give you my thoughts, the thesis of why the doc is not just going to say, no, we don't need a quarterback. Let's just say Goff is the best in the world, and that's it. Nope. Doc went quarterback hunting, and I give you my thoughts on why in this story. And I'm taking you along for the journey each and every day at Detroit Podcast. Want to give a special shout out. Happy birthday to Detroit Lions superfan. Definitely listening in on a Saturday. Justin May, the rapper, turns 36, describes himself as an obsessed Detroit Lions fan. Shout out to you. Many blessings. 36 is a great age. You're wise. You know which podcast you need to listen to. You know how to hopefully emotionally regulate, but you're allowed. You're allowed on Sundays. I know you're professional Monday to Saturday. You're allowed on Sunday when the Lions and Jared Goff get sacked again to pick up your water bottle and slam it down and say some curse words. You know you do it. You know the curse words fly when Jared Goff hands it to Jahmyr Gibbs and he's running up the middle. You're like, what the? Thank you for being obsessed. Same as me. So obsessed that I should be working out or doing some New Year's resolution type stuff. Actually, my resolution's simple. I'm going to try to drink much less soda, 3 days free of Diet Coke. I'm a Diet Coke fan. The water has been ingested. I'm going to drink more water. I do feel better, more energized. I want to do more podcasts. I want to answer more questions. I want to make everybody think that I'm doing more clickbait when the secret is I am the most interesting man in Macomb. Your favorite trusted podcaster wants to talk about the Detroit Lions. So get your questions in. It's being framed as more of a mailbag type show, but I got a lot of topics as always. And the first one, listen, it's time to kind of reflect. And the word I would use is not mad, but man, Frank Ragnow leaving put a major, major impact on this season. He was the blowtorch to the operation. He was the sledgehammer to the offensive line. Frank, I want to be the sledgehammer. And boom, the offensive line fell apart. Again, if you're Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes, and it's no disrespect, you should have tried to at least go with two better options than Graham Glasgow and Tate Ratledge. It's not to say that they couldn't do the job, but there's always better. You have to believe that. And I don't think the Lions, and this is my thought on my true thought on the weird good principle. I truly believe Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes know that within the parameters of football, there's a ranking of how players play, and certain guys are better than others. But the weird good philosophy involves a level of trust in their own guys that I never have. I'm always unsettled. And I think that's what separates me from maybe a lot of colleagues is I'm unsettled all the time. I'm always feeling, okay, Taylor Decker's the left guard, left tackle. Could there be better? Jared Goff's the quarterback. Could there be better? I'm always in the mode of, I feel like after what we saw last year, there was better than a rookie and Graham Glasgow. And then for me, being around it every day, I told you guys, and I'm humbly, honestly told you at training camp in a series of 30 straight consecutive podcasts, guys, the offense along the interior is a concern. That was raised by this podcast. How you feeling about Frank? You forgive him? I mean, I know it's tough. He's battling injury. How do you get mad at somebody that's been battling for you, that played with a throat? But man, if he could just took 6 weeks off and come back and give it a shot, man, that's tough. It blew up the offensive line. It blew up Jared Goff. It blew up the running game. The Lions, when they failed to rush for 100 yards, horrible record in 2025. It's the biggest reason that the Lions didn't have success. So I looked at it like, again, to reiterate, my percentage of blame, 40% Dan Campbell, 40% Brad Holmes, 10% Jared Goff, 10% Frank Ragnow. Man, if his injury, if you just could have survived one more year. One more year. It didn't work out. What do you guys think of the offensive line? And then everybody just says, well, fix it. And the best is, I love it. You guys saw the destruction of the offensive line, and you guys are like, 3 months, fix it. Don't you guys have any friends that are contractors? They always tell you, okay, we're going to build this house in 6 months. And I'm sure some of you have had a house built. The contractor's like, I'll get it done in 120 days, baby. Habibi, I'll get it done. Habibi, I'll get it done in 180 days. No problem. 180 days comes, and they're like, well, a couple of my staffers had COVID. They got this nasty flu. A couple of them got deported. They wanted a raise. I couldn't give it to them. One of my workers won the lotto, and they quit the job. And then the job is supposed to be 6 months. It ends up being a year. Can Brad Holmes fix the offensive line in a year? In one offseason? I have my doubts. In one offseason, boom, Ratledge, Miles Frazier, Christian Mahogany, Penei Sewell. Something was up with Penei Sewell this year. He wasn't himself compared to his standards. Let's check in and shout out. Roll call. Where are you guys listening from? Bobby Stark, Jeremy Yo, shout out Corey Patterson. Phil C, always love seeing you. DM5 TV, the legend, brought the fact of the season. Shout out to you. I don't know how he says his name. You and give him credit publicly. Dermoby, and I humbly apologize. I only know him as his voice. Great video. Shout out. Go check out, which was brought to us by DM5 TV, the Dermoby video from YouTube. Jared Goff 5-year rule. Narrated beautifully. Makes you want to listen. Now, there are some choice words that I can't repeat on the air, but it was a great video. No need to respond, Doc. Off topic. This world is upside down. The villain is the hero, and the hero is the villain. One day, people will stop drinking the Kool-Aid. Listen, the Kool-Aid sugary. It's nice once in a while, but you also have to put it down, put down the Diet Coke, and mix in some waters. And I'm thankful you're here to be part of the community. And what's crazy, DM5, is my natural doubting instincts kicked in with Stafford after 5 years. In 2013, when I started the podcast, I was like, I don't know, guys. I got my doubts. 5 years. And now it's 5 years with Goff. And remember, my biggest argument that put me on the map was in 2017, I screamed and said, never give Stafford that extension. And yet the Lions gave him $25 million. That was after year 8. 2009, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 9 seasons. They were like, yeah, we're good. We'll keep rolling with Stafford. 9 seasons. I was like, can we just get something different? Happy New Year, DM5. Mr. Hassanin Mahdi. Hey, here you are, my friend. Doc, best, honest, true, direct man in the business. Missing you. I wish you a happy New Year, Habibi. Missing you too. Hopefully you're back as well. Hopefully overseas is treating you well. Big year. Big year. I spoke to Ahmed this week. We had a great chat. Private. Great chat. Big things for 2026, inshallah. I like talking to him on the side. Good man. Hassanin, big year for you. Phil C gets in. Not mad at all. If I had to choose between my family and football, there'd be no question. I feel you. Gavis is coming in with a free agent. Gavis Khan 2004. Hey, big dog, I think I just found a free agent we need. Quincy Williams, former Pro Bowler, to replace Barnes Anso. Man, that stinks for Anzalone. Concussion / personal. Did not clear, is not playing. I think you might not see him again in the Lions uniform. That stinks. He definitely talked. You guys noticed he talked a lot less in the media this year. A lot less. A couple interviews, but not as much as before. Murph, why do you say that? Do you guys agree with Murph? Fellow Lions fans, prepare yourselves for a worse record next season. Oh, boy. You're like, the contractor's like 2 years to fix this house. Berg's Lions for life. Me too. Happy birthday, by the way. Everybody celebrating a January birthday. Shout out to you and to everybody in here. Justin May, the rapper. Detroit Fan Man, Murph, Phil C, Jay Hart, Keith. Shout out to all of you for listening in on a Saturday. Who? That's the question of the offseason. Who? That is the question. But this is not a question that you guys just flippantly throw out there. I am a cultured patient man. So on X, I am only on day 8 of my search. I have laid out, people thought that I was doing clickbait with the trade of, I suggested a trade from Stafford to Baker Mayfield. First of all, it's nothing to click. But now I revealed my intentions. The story is on the website. Nothing I do on X is clickbait for the serious fans in here. Nothing. It's meant to gauge reactions. It's meant to thought provoke. It's meant to see what I'm thinking at the time. And I laid out my facts in the story. If you want to know the story, I put up part 1, my thesis. What is the reason I am quarterback hunting? Why am I like this? What is my true thought? I wrote it, and now I'll explain some of it. I don't think it's unsurprising to a lot of you. I am not a fan of pocket passers. Not in this day and age. I grew up loving Montana. That's a different era. You guys see, the problem is you guys don't know. I got to add context. Did you guys know that certain defensive ends in the National Football League, I know you don't know it here in Detroit because you don't see it. The average sack is 2.7 seconds or higher in Detroit. Did you know there are defensive ends that can get to the quarterback in 2.1 to 2.2 seconds? 1-2 sack. Did you know that? Think about that. Hike. 1,000, 2,000 quarterbacks on the ground. Did you know that? No, I know you didn't know that because your guys are a little bit slower. They're more powerful. They want to stop the run. They want the big bodies. Did you know you can sack the quarterback in 2 seconds? 1,000, 1,000 quarterbacks on the ground. And you guys want to gloss over, build a perfect offensive line. Jared Goff perfectly reads the defense, and he delivers the football without getting pressure. You guys are miracle workers. Miracles. I love it. The Slappies want miracles. All I'm just saying is a little athleticism goes a long way. The extra couple seconds are miraculous. All I'm doing is introducing some solutions that other teams have done. That's all I'm doing. I'm not doing miracle work here. Just a little athleticism. You guys are like, no, man, I like Goff. I like Goff with a relatively healthy offensive line last year in the playoffs with the 4 turnovers. Guys, remember, your quarterback, this is not a diss or a dismissal of the quarterback, but he has a 4 to 5 turnover beast in him in any game that he plays. And you just hope it's unlocked. You should be panicked every time you watch the Lions play. You should panic. Most of the time he contains it. Just like most of the time this year, I'm going to contain my desire for Diet Coke and drink this flavorless water. But sometimes you're just having a plate of steak fries and chicken shawarma, and you're like, man, that Diet Coke would taste good. Ice cold. That 4 to 5 turnover beast is in there. And guys, these defensive ends are sacking the quarterback in 2 seconds. I know you don't know what that looks like. I'm sorry, but that's what happens. It's true. It's true. Inshallah Hassanin, listen to my advice. Fast. Did Ahmed tell you how much I believe in your opinion? No, we don't talk about me. Listen, this is the show we talk about me. When I talk to Ahmed, it's simple. It's about him, his story, his vision, his journey, his little insights about defense. I love defense. Some reporters talk to the quarterback about scheme. I like to talk to defenders. And Ahmed's been great. So whatever you may think about me in the locker room, Ahmed has been respectful and has spoken to me on a lot of subjects. And he'll also, when I first started, Mr. Mahdi, Trey Flowers also was like that with me. We would talk and I'd learn a little bit. And I like learning from the defense a little more than the offense. That's just me. So no, I don't ask. I should say. So, what do you think about my coverage? No, but I did formally invite him to my podcast next year. I said, "Yalla." I said, "This year I understand, but you must be a guest. We will have fun football talks." But in the locker room, it's not about me. I promise. Matt Morris or M Morris 75 with a $5 super chat. If you're listening in, get your likes in. That's the free way to support the podcast. Hit the like button, the notification bell. That way, when it dings, you know the doc is going live, or you can follow on X at Detroit Podcast. We're working on new emoji. I got a funny one coming, hopefully. It's on order. But right now, if you are a member of the podcast, you get member exclusive videos that are on demand. You also get access to the emojis that you can smash in the chat. Me, Hefe, Booner. $5 super chat. Super chats go right to the front of the line. And that means a lot to me. Thank you. The mentality of who would replace Goff is a loser type mentality. Over 60 years and no Super Bowl, and you keep trying till you get it right. Have to take risks. Literally, M. Morris with a Cliff Notes version of my thesis on my story. He succinctly did it. I did it in 1,000 words. This fine gentleman, this fine scholar did it in 50 words or less. Now, if I was allowed to do that, which I should be, but I'm not, they want us to write 500 words in our stories, which is good for the internets. This fine gentleman, this fine scholar succinctly wrote what I wrote in 50 words. That's my story. And that's why I'm supported. There's no Super Bowl. And Brad Holmes did you guys a disservice by putting the fear of God in you. We could get so much worse at quarterback. Worse than what? Going from the playoffs to not in the playoffs? What are you scared of? You have nothing. You have started with nothing. You went from the dirt to the penthouse, back to the dirt, back to the penthouse, back to the dirt. It's all the same things. You guys have built and destroyed 50 houses. And you found the one contractor who didn't steal from you, but, you know, you're looking at it, the house that's built now, this house looks better than any other house, but the windows are crooked. Like, wait a minute, this house is pristine, brick, strong, it looks good. The windows don't look right. You're like, something's wrong. And then you go in the house, there's marble everywhere, it smells good, very nice. Cold air's getting in. You're like, something's wrong here. This house ain't right. No, but Tina, this is the best house we've ever had. No, I'm calling the contractor. There's cold air coming in here. But I don't want to call him. Get it right. Until the house is perfect, you have nothing. You've never had a quarterback. Goff is better. Goff is the new fine $600,000 house, but there's some busted windows. Appreciate the super chat and appreciate the succinct, but that's what I said in my column. Now, Michigan, tell me what QB we can get. We are only 8 days into the search, but let me tell you, Tom Brady is a fan of Mendoza. Mendoza is a fan of Tom Brady. I'm also looking at SEC quarterbacks that are shining, looking at quarterbacks in the playoff, looking at quarterbacks in the league. So I'm talking to scouts right now. I'm only 8 days in. I first have formulated your guys' opinion. I know firmly you guys love the starter. You love, most of you love the starter. Some of you wish he was better. I got it. I did my early research, did my thoughts about the Rams type trade, threw out some comments, but I'm only 8 days in. So Michigan, you got to follow the journey. This is not a simple throw out a name today. I'm only 8 days into this journey. So today we just say, I want a Aaron Rodgers type. I think he's out there. He might be out there in the draft. Might have to wait a year. And I'm sorry. I love how you call. It's good. It's a very fair opinion. You believe Jared Goff is a franchise quarterback. He's a starter. He's a top 32 quarterback in the world. I'm looking for top 4. Oh, it's Jay Stees. It's like you're in my notes. Well, we'll reveal some secrets here. It's Jay Stees is a legend. How am I going to keep secrets from you guys? Trinidad Chambly fits the mold, but a little bit undersized. I think I need to get him like some elevator shoes. He's 6'1". Mendoza 6'3", 6'4". You guys know it. Learn these names. I put in the request from the scouts. Tell me your thoughts about Trinidad Chambly. Mobile, can read the pocket. Leader, won a great game, came back. There's value in that. Brad Holmes definitely saw that. There's opportunities. Yeah, you guys are coming up with names. Tell these people the names. Yeah. I'm researching. Here are who the scouts have messaged me so far. Scouts like me. They like making fun of me, but they like me too. Here are the names that I've started to put together my early board of watching their film. Right now, I'm getting their perspective before I give you my perspective. Cade Klubnik on the board. Carson Beck on my board. Fernando Mendoza on my board. Clearly, Dante Moore on my board. Clearly, Trinidad Chambly on my board. Now I'm getting some information. It's a blessed Saturday. Do you want the Lions to target offensive line in this draft early? Your thoughts? A lot of you are liking the Miami players. MP, bear down. Oh, look at you. $4.99 super chat. Man, it's like you guys today read my banners. Lions should be nervous of what Ben and Caleb can become. Yes, because I put that in the header. I am a little nervous. We're going to talk about the offensive line, how the Lions can repair it. Can they fix it in one offseason? Is Brad Holmes a real contractor? Is he one of those ones that tells you it'll be one offseason? We'll find out. He's going to tell us his architectural plan next week. He's going to tell us his architectural plans. What that looks like next week. Are you guys nervous about the Bears in this postseason? I feel like they'll bear down. You got one thing to be worried about. I think the Lions might expose it too this week. 49ers did. This playoffs, I'm going to hate watch. I'm going to hate watch the playoffs. I want to see the Bears go down. If it happens, I feel like there's going to be a 5-hour Super Bowl stream of me just screaming for 5 hours. If the Bears win a Super Bowl before the Lions, they were bold, they were aggressive, they took a coach first year and won. There's some of you out there even saying that the Lions should have just parted ways with Dan Campbell and hired Ben Johnson. Maybe he's the true genius. Maybe that Dan Campbell is the mentor, but this is the version 2.0 of the next level. Younger, brighter, more energized, took his shirt off. I feel like Dan Campbell this year didn't take his shirt off. Isn't it weird? Dan Campbell had the kneecap biting speech to start. That was his take his shirt off moment. Ben Johnson takes his shirt off, riles everybody up. This year, Dan Campbell got beat down a little bit. Felt like kind of got put into hibernation a little early. But bear down, here's the issue. Y'all defense is ass. I'm sorry, Dennis Allen's too Aaron Glenn to me. There's Kelvin Shepard and Aaron Glenn in there. That defense is ass, man. You guys don't stop nobody. With all due respect. Brock Purdy was just like, bah. Christian McCaffrey, they scored again. Sorry, bear down. That's not a championship defense in my mind. It's better. You guys have the most turnovers, gives you more chances. You guys are opportunistic, but you play the 49ers again, that might be tough. Might be better to play them in Chicago. You heard? Ben Johnson took the Lions pass rush plan to Chicago. Are you guys nervous about the playoffs? AG's burner. It's going to sound crazy, but I think the Texans could make it to the Super Bowl. It's not crazy at all. They play defense. Gavis Khan, worried about the Bears for as long as Ben and Caleb Williams are together. 10-year career. Yeah, it's going to be a problem. They know your secrets and they're adding wrinkles to it. You took a step back. That's why it's a major issue that Dan Campbell went this route. Dan Campbell has a say to some degree on this roster. You should have went with a better veteran offensive lineman. You should have stayed with Zeitler. You should have stayed with veterans. Guys, I don't know. I can't call it arrogance. I just think that they trusted their own guys too much. They don't have enough doubt. Like they didn't have the doubt meter correct. They had the hope meter dialed up way too much. We have hope in Graham Glasgow. We have hope in Tate Ratledge. What? What hope did you have after training camp when you watched 20 practices where the interior of the offensive line didn't perform? You guys remember, go back. I said a lot of it was like, man, the offense is not looking good, not looking crisp, not looking good. And it carried right over into the regular season. I'm thankful you guys were here at the very genesis of the Lone Wolves podcast to hear some of the concerns. I'm worried about the Bears. And the Vikings eventually will figure out who their quarterback's going to be. What? In the building? Yes, but we need an elite, proven center from free agency. Yes. I don't care what anybody says. Get Linderbaum. I don't care if they make him an offer for 17, you make an offer for 18. Get him. Win the free agency spending spree. My goodness. I apologize. I ain't say that. Yellow might take a little longer. Doc, thank you for keeping me company on the road today. I deliver at work. What do you think? The effect of Dan Campbell's message mean next year is him wearing thin? Do you think? I understand what you're saying. It's also natural that it takes time, to first get your message in. He did that. But you're right. Through no fault of Dan Campbell, just through time, it would appear his message did not deliver as the same as it has in the past. The same correctable things that he kept saying. One leak here, one leak here. He focused on the offense. The preciseness and crispness of the offense wasn't there. And no, thank you for listening. Hopefully you're enjoying the show. Thank you for the $10 super chat. I think it is wearing a little thin. And some changes got to take place. It's natural. In sports, when you have the same sort of message for year after year after year, and also, what do you think, Ian, say that? The 5-year rule. Most fans would say get rid of Jared Goff. I say, you know what? Through no fault of his own, the 5-year rule says that Dan Campbell's got to go. Because what happens is if Dan Campbell departs, typically the next quarterback could win in 2 or 3 years. The next head coach. Elway is, and this like I said, first let me preface this. No personal matters regarding Dan Campbell. I think he's a great coach, and I think there's a strong chance, 80% are likely, he's going to win a Super Bowl. The question is going to be, is it going to be here in Detroit? He got his experience. I think he can go somewhere else. Detroit is like a whole other mountain. Detroit is like, if today I'm using the construction analogy, Detroit is like finding that prime parcel that you get cheap. It's great. It's amazing. Legendary parcel, great price per square footage. You find the right contractor, but you find out midway through the build, there's Jimmy Hoffa under the ground. Oh, we dug and there's 45 graves under here. And you're like, what? You're like, oh yeah, this land is cursed. You're like, you want to build on this, honey? She's like, yeah. You're like, there's like dead bodies all over the place. That's what the Lions are like. Great parcel, great organization, great people. There's always something weird. Or, oh no, the property next to you that's way more expensive, they started building and they struck oil. You're like, honey, you couldn't find the parcel right next door. It wasn't cute. There were no trees next to it. Right next door is the Bears. They struck oil. And we're always wondering here, what the heck's going on? Appreciate you, Ian, say that for the super chat, your support of this podcast. And it means a lot to me that on a Saturday afternoon, you're listening to this fine broadcast. And again, if I don't get to a super chat, there's so many comments that fly through. Just hit, hey, remind me. So I got to go up faster. I don't know if I hit a setting where they're not hitting at the top like they're supposed to. Appreciate you guys in the super chat. They're awesome. Keep them coming. That's good stuff. M. Morris, $5 super chat. Though they have been doing this for 5 years, Dan and Brad are still first timers, and it shows. Will they make adjustments? That's the question of the offseason. My word is drastic. I think people misunderstood my post on X. You know who's a defensive line coach for the Miami Canes? Jason Taylor. Now, many of you thought that I meant that he should be the defensive coordinator. Hell no. Go get him as the defensive line coach. Young energy. You went from Terrell Williams to Casey Rogers. Do you guys really feel like you got elite level defensive line play? Get Jason Taylor. That guy. You see the Miami Canes? What they're doing? Are you watching the playoffs? That dude's got his line going. Everybody's mocking all of their defensive ends. Drastic is the word. Everyone's like, and I don't understand this philosophy that the Lions, I do not understand the we're good philosophy. I don't know. It's the reverse of the SOL mentality. It's the we're good mentality. We are now, guys, we are at 40 minutes into the show. We have declared a war between the SOL mentality of everything's terrible and the we're good mentality where everything's great. We have two camps, and the truth is in the middle. But the slappies and the we're good movement, why would you think that a team that has this formula where they regressed just automatically is able to win the Super Bowl if they make like 3 moves? Does anybody go, we got to be a little bit more drastic? Like we have to have an abundance of talent all over the place? You guys know what's going to happen. They're going to sign Linderbaum. Everybody's going to drop their pants and panties and be all happy, and he's going to get hurt. You need to make sure that Tate Ratledge learns that position. You got to have depth. And the we're good philosophy was impactful, detrimental to the depth on this team. Here's where the we're good mentality killed this team, M. Morris. And here's where it was a problem. And this is why the Bears might win before the Lions. Bears got all this money. They're like, we're going to spend it on the offensive line. They didn't go, it's too expensive for Jonah Jackson. It's too expensive to get a 4th-round pick for Tooney. It's too expensive. It's, hey, you guys, they see they got a 7th-round running back who actually plays. What? The we're good philosophy that hurt the Lions is you go, we're good on our roster so we can draft projects. Guys, there are people out there that I don't know if they don't have second-level thinking or critical thinking. Brad Holmes didn't say we're good. He didn't come out and utter into a microphone, we're good. He didn't say it. He acted like it. He said, my roster is full of Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, Graham Glasgow, We're good. Oh, I'll take a Mekhi Wingo. Let him sit. I'll take a Giovanni Manu. Let him sit. I'll take a Broderick Martin. Trade some assets. Let him sit. I'll take a Hendon Hooker. Let him sit. We're good. This is the biggest crux of why fans are pissed and not happy. The NFL philosophy is not set up for sustained success as a dynasty. You are odds on not going to be the Patriots, Lions fans. You are odds are with Jared Goff not going to be the Chiefs, Lions fans. Most Lions fans have a recognition of that. They're not maybe saying it out loud or they're scared to, but when you have a quarterback of the type that Jared Goff has, you're more in line to build one run or two and draft a quarterback. You need a Brady, Mahomes, Montana. You need a legendary person to have 12 wins for 10 years in a row and 5 Super Bowls. Lions fans don't give a shit about that. Lions fans are like, you had this window, 23, 24, 25. You're owed 3 Super Bowls. Does anybody, if they win one in 28, are you going to sit there and thump your chest and be like, ha ha, we told you? I feel devastated that I feel like I'm owed 3 Super Bowls. I feel like I'm -3 in the dirt. 23, your aggressive move with Donovan Peoples-Jones? What? You follow that up with your offseason? What? What? You follow that up with NFC Championship game, first round exit where half your team gets hurt, and an elimination from the playoffs. Most Lions fans don't care about sustained success. They don't believe in it. That's like some fairy tale Easter bunny shit. When you have a window, you pounce and you go, I'm moving this. Because if you fail, you're still in the same boat that you started with. What you have done is given people false hope that you're going to build this dynasty, and everybody's pissed because you never paid it off. And you didn't put together the aggressive plan. Most people in their right mind think, wait a minute, the Bears are kind of pushing a little bit. Heavy in free agency, go out and get a first-time coach that's from a winning program, draft a 7th-round running back, take a couple chances. And now look what could happen. They got the 4th-place schedule. Look what happens. Most Lions fans are like, listen, I think the most, because they're paying money, give us the belief that you're pushing as close as humanly possible, race to the sun. Push it. And if you fail, they'll be okay. It'll hurt, but it won't hurt like this because you're selling, we're good. That's why people are mad. That's where you get the angst, is that nobody cares about 15 years of 10 wins. Get the best team possible for a 1 to 2 year push, which should have been 24 and 25. You should have had your push this year for a Super Bowl this year. And Dan knew it. Dan Campbell knew it. He's like, players are going to get paid. They're not going to be as motivated naturally, psychologically. It's just the way it is. Guys, your team, your leaders were crying about playing on Christmas. Are you kidding me? Go to work. You're getting paid to work. And they acted like they didn't want to play on Christmas. That's the truth. That's why people are mad. Brad Holmes didn't say we're good. He acted like they were Super Bowl winners. And R. Rodgers succinctly said, I just want one Super Bowl. That's it. You guys in here are at least honest with yourselves. The Slappies are in denial. We get more cracks at it. Well, where's the crack at it this year? We get more cracks at it, John. We don't need Chase Young. We don't need Myles Garrett. We don't need Max Crosby. We don't need any of these guys. What? We don't need it. You're mad at me because I'm asking for better across the board? We can't afford it. We can't need it. We can't do it. Well, look what it got you. We're pissed. AG's burner, OG status. If you aren't getting better in the NFL, you're getting worse. There is no organizational stability. It's a league designed for parity. Hello? The fans that are pushing all in are right. Take a gamble. Fine. You sacrifice 2 more years. Build again. If you're a draft guru, the problem is Brad Holmes drafting in the 20s is not the same as Brad Holmes drafting in the 10s. Not the same guy. Not the same impact. Please, football universe, let Brad Holmes discover the I want to play now draft pick. Instant impact. I'm going to have a new meter. I've discovered a new meter, and you guys hear it first. Instant impact meter. Broderick Martin. So how is our meter going to go? Is it 100 and 0? Instant impact meter for Martin. 2. We need instant impact meter. We have discovered it here. We can label it together and we'll know it. I'm going to put Christian on the case. Instant impact meter. All the picks will have an instant impact meter. How fast are they going to help or hurt this team? I discovered a meter. And Christian now knows it. We have a new meter. Instant impact meter. How fast is this dude going to ball for y'all? Not how slow is he going to marinate, how long is it going to take to develop. On a scale of 1 to 100. The Lions have been drafting 59s, 48s. We have, together as a community, started a movement. The instant impact meter. Instant. I ain't down to percolate. I'm getting old. The hairs are getting gray. Instant. Free agent meter. Instant impact meter. Every draft pick will have that number, and Christian will be the bastion of that number. And I want 90s. Can I get some 80s? And you guys will tell me. You guys can create our own meter. The instant impact meter. Is this dude going to ball for me this year, or I got to pay $1,000 and 2 years of season tickets before I see this guy ever score a touchdown? You remember, you're charging people money. What do you guys think of this question? What would your reaction be? Are you going to hate watch the playoffs? I feel like I am. I just need the Bears to lose early. I don't think as a rational human being who is very rational, I could sit back through these playoffs and watch the Bears win the Super Bowl this year in year 1. I would flip the F out. The Super Bowl, if the Bears win it, the second it's done, the first 5 minutes after the 5-minute preview is just me sitting there in stunned silence, and then it's going to go off. In 1 year, they were able to get to the Super Bowl and make it, and then I'm going to say it. It takes drastic organizational moves to win in the NFL. Sports is drastic. In a salary cap era, you don't get to have 12 years to build. If the Lions win next year, Doesn't take away the fact that we all cried in 23 and 24. 6 years is forever. Doesn't it feel like 5 years has been forever? Feels like forever ago, Dan said kneecaps. You got to win. Crazy Clown, got a lot of respect for you. Thank you for sharing and promoting our stuff. I just want a quarterback that won a playoff game. Oh, I have him already. Aha. Different philosophy. This is what we call the complacency meter. I just want a quarterback that's won a Super Bowl. I may, if 26 doesn't go right, just have a simple itinerary. You cannot play on this Lions team unless you've won a Super Bowl as a quarterback, general manager, head coach. That may be the drastic measure it takes. Do you have Dan Campbell? Remember, the Pistons have shown that they went with a guy that was inexperienced, like a Rick Carlisle, and then they went to ultra winner in Larry Brown, and he won his with the Pistons. Now, Larry Brown might not fit the same criteria, but in the NFL, it might be like, listen, Howie Roseman, here's $30 million a year. Here's 10 years. Fix it. Les Snead, come in, handle the job, get what we need. Robbie, appreciate you. I want a quarterback that's won a Super Bowl. Would you guys take a broken down Patrick Mahomes now after a major injury? Roddy B, as a Bears fan, I hope y'all never get one. No. That's how it should be. I know, Phil. See, that comment lingers large over this organization. It looms large. Dan told the team, this might be our only shot. Man. M. Morris, $5 super chat. Hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. And weak men create hard times. This is the Lions mantra. Dagger time. Oh my. Oh my goodness. Like a dagger through the heart. Was that the inner meeting? Was that the hidden meaning of what Dan Campbell was saying? Jesus. M. Morris. Damn, that's God damn. I gotta read it again. Jesus, that brings the energy right to a halt. Be like, Brad Holmes is up there selling hope. Guys, we got a young core. Brad, I got a question. They'll be like, okay, John, last question. So, hard times create strong men, but strong men create good times. Good times create weak men, but weak men create hard times. Is this your mantra, Brad? That's a comment for the ages. That's a big one. Holy cow, I'm going to remember it. An hour into the January 3rd show, the man stuck a dagger right through the Slappy's hearts. My God. That's probably the hidden meaning of what Dan Campbell said. Oh, Jesus. That's a great comment. M. Morris. Wow. Wow. This is where we're at. That's why my offseason plan is drastic. It's just drastic. Everything's drastic. It's not calm. It's not we're good. It's not I hear the great, Dan Miller, and I hear all the pundits. Yeah, we're getting back. But there's a chance that they don't make the playoffs next year. Who's to say that the Lions just pick themselves up? The chances are they will, but it still could go the other way. Jackson Dart, we all think the Giants are going to be a win. The Titans, they might wake up finally and figure it out. Bam Bam with $5 super chat. Morning, Doc. Agree on Goff's time frame. That's all I say on that. Holmes gambled himself with the draft, trades, and lack thereof. Now, financial has become a matter. Of course. The cap is now serious where you might not be able to you might have to go with Ratledge. You might not be able to afford Linderbaum. Linderbaum makes you better. But you chose J-Mo, and now you're going to probably pay Jahmyr. I don't pay Jahmyr Gibbs. I don't pay Jack Campbell either. You paid Kirby Joseph a little early. You paid J-Mo a little early. We're good. We're good. I like my peoples. Your peoples let you down. It's tough, man. Listen, the Lions winning a Super Bowl involves so many factors. Many factors. I'm talking about 50 factors got to go right, not just 38. But I think Crazy Clown definitely understands that it's all Jared Goff's fault. Listen, he's got to have some people protecting him. But man, I would figure if I got a $12,000 golf cart, I'd protect his ass a little better. Be like, damn, we didn't be like, you know what? I would give it back. I'd be like, Doc, come on. I'd be like, man, I didn't do my job, man. I can't take this. I let your ass get sacked too much. Crazy Clown with some rational thoughts here. They aren't complacent. They just didn't know what the experts all knew. They didn't know the starting safeties and corners would all get injured. But that style of play seems to dictate that defense is going to get wore out. It's not bad luck. It's 2 years in a row to high impact players. The practices are brutal. The impact of playing on turf. It's not bad luck. Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph, Aiden Hutchinson, Ali McNeil, Malcolm Rodriguez. The curse is real. What do you guys think about what AG and Crazy Clown are saying? Smart commenters. NFC Championship loss was the peak. I can't say the window's closed, but what I would say is this will be the turning point of this regime. Please, I just hope Brad Holmes doesn't say, we're good, or I like the core. I hope that the Bears, please don't win the Super Bowl before the Lions. Please. Okay, what changes? Got probably 15, 20 minutes left, maybe a half hour. What is the direction this team has to take? I do think the word is drastic. Dan Campbell said it. Dan Campbell said that inevitably change is going to be made. I do think there's going to be a change at offensive coordinator. I respect John Morton for fighting for his job. I think he should stay with the organization. He has wisdom. He appears that clearly he's putting in the work doggedly to understand schemes, to understand info. He has information that is useful to tell. I don't think he's going to be in command as an offensive coordinator. He has a vision. He needs to be, I think it's demoted to senior offensive wizard, senior offensive consultant, coordinator, whatever it is. But he should not call plays. He should not put together a scheme. And what was wild was he said it publicly again yesterday. And here's what happened. Here's the truth. Did you hear what he said? I almost was like, wow. It's out in the open. And he said it. He's like, guys, I love working in the passing game. I love it. Goff to J-Mo to St. Brown. But that's a direct conflict with what your head coach likes. He said, I love working in the passing game. His weakness with the Jets was an inability to create a running game. He said it out loud, boldly, but it's the truth. He's more of a passing guy. And the run game took a major hit and put the team in major peril. Wow, I couldn't believe he said it. So this run game has to fall on Hank Fraley and the others in the run game. Tashard Choice, I'm sorry, not good enough. Offensive line play, not good enough. John Morton's like, I love working in the pass game. And as a result, the Lions' rushing attack, less than 100 yards in all of their losses. Atrocious offensive line play. I'm sorry. You might also say Hank Fraley's message got thin. Just naturally. I think he's a good coach, but I think you can refresh that room. Injuries are going to happen. I know. This is the thing. If we restructure Goff, he's here till 2030 at least. No, it's 26th season. It'll be probably till 27, 28. I know. I feel like Dan and Brad are going to hitch their careers to one guy. I hope they have somebody that's a lone wolf in that room. That's like, wait a minute. What did we do all these 5 years? It got us nothing. You got to change. You got to adapt. It got you nothing. You rose from the mountaintop and came right back down just that fast. That's the NFL. That's the NFL, people. But remember, the push all in crowd told you that. You don't get 15 years sustained success with a little bit of an antiquated pocket passer. You just don't. The league takes your good players and takes your coaches. All the good coaches end up leaving. It's not that easy to go, us fans, I was guilty of it. I thought the coordinators would actually do well, both of them. I thought that would not be a narrative. I was wrong. The outside world said, 2 new coordinators, that's going to be rough. Remember, you fans pushed back on it strongly too. I was wrong. Experience matters. Experience matters, guys. Crazy clown. Look what happened to Mahomes when he lost his tight end. Yeah, and he's showing you? Look at these rings, bro. He don't care if he lost his tight end. Just give me one ring and we can talk about, look at the offensive line. Look how it built. No. Just keep looking for the wizard at the quarterback spot. They're there. There has to be one. There has to be the next Mahomes. There has to be the next Brady. You got to find it. You got the guy in your organization that found one. Find the next wizard. I think that the next thing we do, Crazy Clown, is we go, all right, Mr. John Dorsey, come to the head of the class. Tell us the wizard list. Tell us the next one. Please, please, please tell us the next one. Go in this draft and tell us there's one in there. And I'm not going to sit here and diminish what Patrick Mahomes did as a top 5 all-time quarterback. Good question. He got an opportunity to run his own defense, and he went back to his guy. Loyalty matters. Why didn't the Lions keep defensive line coach Terrell Williams, says Golden Boy. How did we let him get away? Actually, would have been bad news because he faced some significant health problems, unfortunately. Many prayers for hopefully speedy recovery. But he went to take the job of the defensive coordinator of the Patriots. It's a big opportunity with his guy, Mike Vrabel. But you got to go younger. Jason Taylor. That guy's going to be great when he gets to the NFL. All right, what's the first, and to what degree? Dan Campbell said changes. My humble opinion is the changes should be drastic, bold. I'm talking about wiping everybody out. New defensive coordinator, new offensive coordinator, starting over. Dave Phipp can stay. Seems like the kickers and the return, you can figure out. It wasn't the best year, but you can work with it. You got a kicker with a big leg. But I'm starting over with the coaching staff. And offensive coordinator, you got to have at least some 5 years experience and hopefully have coached in the Super Bowl. Maybe somebody off the Broncos staff. Some experience. Maybe you say, all right, Brian Flores, come in here. You're the highest paid defensive coordinator. Zach Taylor, you coached in the Super Bowl. Come here and work with Goff. The problem is y'all are floating some names at me that make me go, oh my God. David Blau, new quarterback coach, or his guru. I'm like, oh man. I'm like, all right. I just wish there was like you could build guys, do you know what staff that Jimmy Johnson had? Jesus. North Turner became a wizard and he stayed for a long time. Jimmy Johnson had some legendary staffs, man. Legendary. Oh man, Jimmy Johnson had unreal staffs. North Turner, the legend. And they built an offensive line that was able to sustain. Nate Newton. What a staff. What a staff that the Cowboys had. Is there a team that you think the Lions are kind of similar to these days? I mean, they're doing their things. What changes do you think that they should make? I feel like the offense is going to go in a different direction. You got Neon Deion Sanders. You got some amazing defensive talent when you needed it. No, he wasn't. He was suited to be a offensive coordinator. He was an offensive guru. That was his probably peak. Jim Schwartz. You guys want a reunion with Jim Schwartz? Yes or no? I don't know. It's kind of a full circle moment. I feel like the Lions torched him pretty well. Like he can get figured out. Oh, hey, it's Jessica. We need play calling that isn't boring and predictable. Lions need to offer Mike McDaniel head coach money. You guys are like $5 million for McDaniel. He might get a reprieve. He might have found his guy in Quinn Ewers. What but creativity and passion matters too. Johnny Moe has 30 years of experience. Dude's a dinosaur in philosophy. Yeah. And Steve is like, ice water down your veins, down your pants. Schwartz not coming back here. Wouldn't that be something? Shout out to Xavier. Good to see you in here. Run the rock. That's the big I think that's clearly the biggest thing that impacted the Lions. You got to retool that offensive line and you got to do it right. I think you need free agency to do it, not the draft. You need a healthy strategy to repair this offensive line. And I think the draft strategy should be fine tuning some. I feel like free agency, you got to just start buying one cornerback in free agency, one offensive lineman, maybe a linebacker. I feel like free agency has to repair the mistakes that Brad Holmes made. You got to spend, restructure and spend, baby. Spend. Ballers, young ballers that can play. $2 super chat from Anthony Berard wants to, Anthony Berardi 3611 wants to say, I like McDaniel's style. It's got a little flair. Might show up in a fur coat, a Dietrich fur. He's going to have a Dietrich fur and some buffs this first media session. Be like, is that some Dietrichs? Deech. It's like, is that McDaniel in a Dietrich fur commercial? So we shall see. I like McDaniel. I have a lot of inside info on his styles. Definitely close to a great Miami Dolphins reporter. Smash the emojis. Gumby knows. If you're a member, smash the emojis. Hit the like button. We got 350 people enjoying the show on a Saturday. The Red Wings are playing. Let's give you a quick score update. For those that are paying attention, we have the Red Wings in action. Boo! At LCA at the end of one. Your Red Wings are losing 2-0 to the Pittsburgh Penguins. That sucks. Boo! That sucks. Early, Brian Roost and Yegor Chinnikov on the board. You're a Red Wings, man. That's a crazy division. A couple wins here, a couple wins there. You go from first place out of the playoffs. That Eastern Conference, man, that move to the Eastern Conference, it jacked up the Red Wings. Freaking 10-year Iser plan, putting more gray hairs on my chin. How about Caden Proctor in the draft? A lot of people like him, but a lot of people are saying, hey, his effort level consistently on a given basis. You know, every player, guys, every player has its good moments and bad moments. He was, I think, a candidate that's early in December, a hot candidate, but I think the play of late, not so much. So right now, I think that he's got room to grow. Very interesting. Obviously, I think Brad Holmes would like his style of play, his body makeup, but effort in, effort out has been a question mark. And many people are losing faith in him. Let us review, because I know draft talk is always important. Let us review Christian's latest mock draft. Great writer. And let us do it in this way. Here's our draft strategy. Listen, some of the, and I want to share kind of what I hear from others. Some writers have a philosophy of, they say, the draft is a bunch of research on guys the Lions never get, but it's still a great conversation to look at. So we always have done mock drafts and have done things to look at things that you guys are interested in. But now the crux of that is not typically done by me. I'm more of the overseer. So I will have a weekly podcast with Emmett Matavosky. He covers the Michigan State Spartans. He's a great writer. And also he's been providing you, before anyone else, players throughout the whole college playoff to watch. We've been bringing you draft coverage since the end of the college football season. You get your names, you get your early list. So I will do a once a week podcast with him, and that's what we will geek out in the draft. If you guys like it, I like it. That's my philosophy. That's always been that way. I don't shy away, because I don't like it. No, if you like it, I'll say, okay, that's not my skill set, but I am watching a lot more college tape. I hate the way the quarterbacks play, and God help me for watching Bryce Underwood. If you read my quarterback story, I did take a little shot at Bryce Underwood, but I would. God, the quarterback play is god awful. You guys, there's 168 or so college football teams, and 162 of them have bad quarterbacks. My God, these guys can't ball. These dudes can't ball. Let's talk draft here for the last half hour or so. Christian did a mock draft. Now, here's what we do. On Fridays, today we did it because their season was still going on, but on Fridays, we will round up all the mock drafts, and on Fridays, you can find out who are the names that some of the analysts are bringing. And we'll round up these names. So this is what Vito did today. These are the names that are kind of showing up in the week that was mock draft land. So what a mock draft roundup is here are the names of some that are kind of showing up as to who to watch. Doesn't mean that Brad Holmes will like them. Doesn't mean that Brad Holmes will take them. These are just players that are kind of in the mix. Remember, Brad Holmes told us we don't have all the information. Well, I'll tell Brad Holmes, you don't have all the information. You took a bunch of guys that were not ready to play. Their instant impact meter was not where we want it to be. Too low instant impact, my friends. But now we got the meter. And I will present that to you in every future analysis. What's their level of instant impact? And let's make it a topping point. Instant impact, Because listen, you need instant results to win in the National Football League. You need to cook and really cook. Brad Holmes is like, listen, guys, I'll see you in 2027. I'm about to cook my 30,000 course meal. 30,000 courses? I just need 10 good ones. No. Brad Holmes, you know what? The best is if Brad Holmes copies Steve Yzerman. Guys, who said the rebuild was going to take 5 years? I feel like rebuilds can go. The best slappy line, real fast before we get into the draft. The best slappy line in the history of slappy lines is, Lions fans, rebuilds sometimes don't have linear trajectories. They sometimes have bumps in the road. Let's recategorize that phrase. Some rebuilds pace nicely and they end up in playoffs and Super Bowls. Some rebuilds flip the effing car over and burn. The Lions rebuild was not a setback. Oh, bad year. Oh. This, when you go from NFC Championship game to first round exit to not in the playoffs, the proper categorization is, oh, shoot, the house we built on this beautiful parcel for cheap blew up in flames. Oh, no, the carbon monoxide bit us. Oh, no. Luckily, everybody survived, and our favorite dog, Petey, is alive. But, oh, no, we blew up the house. Uh-oh, we got to build another one. Not all rebuilds pace this way. Setbacks happen. Yeah, we're talking about the Lions here. We're talking about the Lions. Never been in the Super Bowl. Never, ever been in the Super Bowl. This was an epic fail. Epic fail. But it only is rectified with epic changes. Instant impact guys, free agency that targets players that can play and stay healthy and actually compete on the field. A draft strategy that picks 6 to 8 guys that will compete day in and day out to start and not to sit on the bench and keep it warm. And a trade strategy that looks at veterans across the league and is a little bit forthright and advanced to get guys that are going to be ballers in the future, guys on contracts. Thank you. Okay, we blew up the Washington Township mansion. Oops, let's build another one and maybe put a couple extra carbon monoxide detectors in that crib. Maybe we're not going to let Petey play with his friends and leave the gas on. No, I like setbacks happen. I love Xavier. No, you're right. Setbacks happen when Dan and Brad literally made every wrong move in the offseason, if they made moves at all. Yeah. It's like, should we put a carbon monoxide detector? No, not needed. Should we check the furnace? No. Too expensive. We're good. This house is brand new. We don't got to check anything. Hassanin Mahdi gets in. My opinion, stop getting or saying all injury players, older players, youth. That's right. They have to ball. You get paid, you have to play. And I would say that I know we're taking it this direction, but here's what my thought was. Brad would be like, I want 6 carbon monoxides, but we got one good one here on the lower level. It's $200. But we need one on the upper level. And we need one on the lower level. And you got to put batteries in it. He's like, yeah. I got one good one. It's very expensive. Don't you like one good one? We need like 5. No, I'd be like, my next house, we need one on every single level. We need 6 of them. We need 6 carbon. You can never have enough carbon monoxide detectors. You can never have enough. Doc, John, the Amazon box showed up. This is the 19th defensive end carbon monoxide detector. You can never have enough. You can never have enough carbon monoxide detectors. Doc, why do we have 19 fire extinguishers? You can never have enough fire extinguishers. They all work. They all work. Brad Holmes goes to his fire detector, nothing comes out. Oops. There's a 1936 fire extinguisher. I need 26 good. I need 11 good carbon monoxide players, 11 good fire detectors, and 11 fire extinguishers. So 33 pieces got to shine so this house don't burn down. What's more important, guys? Carbon monoxide detector, fire extinguisher, or fire detector? Now, this is just really hyperbole. Do you think Brad Holmes waits 3 weeks before he puts the battery in the fire detector? Beep, beep, beep. It's like, wait a minute. We can put that off for a couple weeks. We can just skip it. Beep, beep. He won't come on the podcast because his fire extinguisher, his fire detector would keep beeping. Beep, beep, beep. You need to adapt. Bam, bam. Everything falls and rises on leadership. Holmes, Dan, yes. But the lack of coaching staff evolution as well. That means Goff too. Yeah. Mark Brunell, changes. Changes, drastic changes have to take place. You have to find the newest carbon monoxide detectors, not the ones made in the 80s that have yellow all over them. Find the newest ones, the better ones. Brad's like, listen, if it costs $100, I'll take it. Like the good ones cost $300 and they're digital. Like it actually beeps to your neighbor's house too. The Lions house didn't pass the inspection, guys. You know what? The more shows we do, the more crazy analogies we use, but this one makes sense. Brad Holmes built a beautiful home, actually, with great fire detectors, great carbon monoxide. You know what he did? He didn't use the GFI freaking electrical wires. His electrical guys didn't understand GFI. You cannot put a plug here and here and here. He went cheap on the GFI electrical guys. And the inspector came in and said, wow, this is a nice house. It's not GFI standard, boss. Can't live in it. What do you mean I can't live in it? There are these things called GFI codes. Like the electrical wires have to be 18 feet apart. They got to look like this. They got to look like that. They got to be, speedy, twitchy electrical wires. No, they got to be big and lumbering. Look at my electrical wires. They look good. Gold plated, lion. You can't have. Hold on. I'm probably using the wrong word. Hold on. I'm not handy, but I did dabble in that area. Electrical GFI code. When you have a home for rent, you have to have standards, and there's certain codes that electrical wiring has to have. So someone smarter than me can explain it. They're just codes and standards of how the wires got to look. GFI codes or whatever the code is. There's a standard, and you have to meet it. And the standard is, they have to be a certain length apart. They have to have, ability not to flame out and burn the whole house down. Hold on. Let's see here. It probably is GSI or GCI. Hold on. GFI contract codes here. Electrical. It's an electrical word. I know it is. GFCI protection is required for all 125 volt receptacles supplied by single-phase branch circuits rated 150 volts or less to ground-specific dwelling units. So they must meet code. So you built this beautiful house and your GFI code ain't up to standard. You didn't pass inspection. You didn't pass the smell test. You don't have a good enough quarterback. You don't have a good enough offensive line. You don't have a good enough defense. You don't have a good enough coach. It's just not good enough. It doesn't pass the code. You got to go back to the drawing board. You got to call the contractor. You got to spend more money. Right? Perfect analogy since his name is Holmes. You don't get this anywhere else. One Repub is sitting there going, what is this guy saying? I hit him with the truth. You built a nice, beautiful brick home, one Repub, but you didn't pass the standard. And it smells, and the house burnt down. You're not in the playoffs. It stinks. And all the slappies lied to you, right to your face. You don't need to make moves to have sustained success. Sustained success, if you have more chances to win in the playoffs, then you can win the Super Bowl. Well, you can't get to the Super Bowl if you're not in the playoffs. And you can't get to the playoffs unless you have talent. And you get the talent from the draft, free agency, and trade deadline. In the draft, you drafted too many projects. In free agency, you didn't get the better players. You made lateral moves, and you brought in injured guys and guys that didn't perform. Red Holmes' cornerback evaluation needs to be revamped. And in the trade deadline, is that Brad Holmes in your profile covering up under a flag where he didn't do nothing? Because there is no trade strategy. It's bringing Donovan Peoples-Jones. Is that Brad Holmes hiding under there? I'd hide too with that trade strategy. I would hide too. And guess what happens? When you get that formula, burnt to the ground. In my Holmes analogy. Got to repair it. And I want to repair it better. Everything GFI code, everything up to standard. I don't care if it takes 3 years to build it. Everything's got to be up to code, up to snuff. You heard? The slappies are like, oh, what a pretty house. Are you going to put flowers in your garden? Oh, that's cute. That looks good. When are we going to have the housewarming party? This looks nice. The hardcore fans are like, this has got to be GFI standard. It's got to meet code. We got to do this within a timely manner. We got to use good wood. The slappies are like, that wood looks nice. Where'd you get it from? Oh, you got it from Honduras? Oh, that's nice. Be like, the house down the street was built by this Italian guy who's done it for 25 years. Look at that house. It's beautiful. No, that house is too expensive. We don't want to do that. I have this Flex Seal. You want to see? It's new. The Lions are running the Flex Seal offense. Damn it. We ran the Flex Seal offense. And the slappies were like, that dark can looks nice. It's sparkly. Why are we talking about codes and Flex Seal? They'll do an article speculating that Flex Seal is the new way to build houses and share it with the public. Guys, I want to speculate that Flex Seal is the new way to keep your house together. Thank you for that analysis, Patna. Flex Seal is the way to go. I don't know. I know that a couple houses in Detroit on 7 in Mount Elliott, they use Flex Seal. Looks good to me. I have stats that tell me Flex Seal is the new wave. Congratulations on your Flex Seal analysis. Flex Seal on all the houses on 6 Mile Elliott use Flex Seal. Should be fine for you guys. I can't even describe it better than that. I ain't say that, $5, Doc. I'm from Honduras. Trust me, we got the good wood. I'm sorry. No offense was no unintended was meant to harm the Hondurans out there. It's just a perfect analogy. And now the Lions crib has blue tarp all over it. Now the Lions crib is the blue tarp house that you see that you go, that's the Lions blue tarp house. I've been trying to push the share button, and you guys keep making me laugh with these analogies. Yes, you guys make me laugh. Thank you guys for listening to this and entertaining this. It makes me feel better, actually. You know what? Hold on. Let me go to some of you guys. You guys are engaging with this. I think you relate to what I'm saying. Mobile home roof sealer. Steve Wilds, thank you. What up, big dog? I gave Booner the business for you. Booner out here trying to take credit for my questions. I love Booner. Flex Seal is Johnny Morton. What about we got a tarp on the roof, bro? Oh, hey, it's Jessica. Lions built a house in Detroit, except they built it on the bad side, so it kept getting broken into. And a fire breaks out yearly, and the future is missing, and the furniture's out. You heard, oh, hey, it's Jessica? You know. You guys relate to this. It makes all sense. Brent DeWitt, shout out to you, my brother. Lawn looks great until you start walking around and stepping in the dog poop. Oh, my goodness. Right? Murph, if the offense is Flex Seal, then the defense is Scotch Tape. But did you know the Slappies will say, I heard that one team in the AFC North used Flex Seal and Scotch Tape, and they won 6 games. That's pretty good. You know, it doesn't mean that because the 6 Mile House uses Flex Seal and Scotch Tape, that means you're going to have a bad house. It doesn't mean that. We got to debate it. It probably means you have a decent house if you use Flex Seal and Scotch Tape. It's affordable. You can stay reasonable in your cap. And you know who would write that. Oh, my goodness. Time to flip the breakers. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, Lions are the boarded up house right now. I think you guys understood the analogy. Flex Seal, baby. Who's to say that Flex Seal can't help you? A to Z Flex Seal and Pride of Flex Seal get you there. A to Z Flex Seal, why it works. Pride of Flex Seal. Pride of Scotch Tape. We're going to do it. We're going to get there, guys. We're going to eventually get there. Somehow or another, we'll get there. Honolulu Scotch Tape. We'll get you there. No, it's all fun. Listen, we all want the same thing. But yeah, you just need a whole heck of a lot. Man. All right, this is the mock draft roundup. I finally figured out how to push the button. You guys made me laugh. It's on there. Mock draft roundup. Lions get Decker's replacement. Again, we don't do clickbait at Lions on SI. Everything that you see as a headline, whatever you think of the headlines, they're just words. Click the link, and everything will get you to where you got to go. Number 61, Francis Mawaga. Big dude. You'll see a video with lovely commercials. This is how I keep the lights on. Enjoy them. Let's enjoy this. This is Clorox. What do you know? National brands. We get represented at Lions on SI because we're a national company. And thank you. I gave myself, look at that. That's video shot by me. Nasal congestion, Sinex. There'll be some ads, some things that pop up, but listen, I'm not stealing your information. At least I don't think. But let's take a look at who the draft pundits have this week. And every Friday, Vito will update this. Edge David Bailey from Texas Tech. Christian mocked him to the Lions, Fox Sports. Offensive tackle Francis Mawaga from Miami. The Athletic hit it, Pro Football Network. Great NFL reporter and writer Nick Baumgardner. This could be a dream scenario for the Lions, who he writes for The Athletic. I subscribe to everything. Who suddenly have major needs along the offensive line, possibly including a left tackle. Mawaga would fit in Detroit's culture. He could play both tackle and guard. Caden Proctor is a name that you guys like too. I just think his stock is on the decline for the Lions right now. Edge Keldrick Falk from Auburn. Might be an El Quidin replacement. Some have also listed Jermod McCoy. What do you think? Who are your early draft crushes? Now, Christian will periodically, myself included, will throw out mock drafts. I will share his recent mock draft. He prioritized edge in his. So first basic question is, if you get the 15th pick, left tackle or defensive end or quarterback? What's the position you go with? We'll talk about it and get your reactions. This is Christian's latest mock draft. Ta-da, January 1st. Everything that you guys, we put out 5 to 6 to 7 new articles every day. We do 6 to 8 fresh articles a day about everything. Mock drafts, draft, free agency, salary cap, what I know, what I don't know. Lots of insight available at Detroit Lions on SI. We're in the mix. Not better than anybody else. We're in the mix. That's all I'm grateful for. And all these fine, fresh videos you see, shot by me, your friendly favorite NFL reporter, podcaster, and Dan Campbell's favorite human being on the history of the earth. Me. David Bailey is a name that you got to get to know. He's mocked to the Lions a lot. He goes with pick 15, David Bailey, the edge. The Lions need a jolt in their pass rush via Christian Boer. Now, just real background. Christian's been with me for 6 years. Now, let me just humble brag here. This is the 2 minutes I share about what I know. Some people, I'll say this, some people have people work with them. They go on to create content and you see what they do. I was blessed to have worked with the current Free Press beat writer. He wrote a couple things. He made a stop. A lot of people have made a little intern stops with Detroit Sports Podcast, and I keep that quiet. People I mentor, people I talk to about kind of working hard and building relationships. And I said at the time to Mr. Evan, I said, Evan, doing great things, man. You're crushing it. What happened to the other guy? Did you get rid of the other guy? Looked like the other guy went overseas and left the business. A lot of writers leave the business. A Lions beat writer left the business. And he said, yeah, he's doing good work. And I said to him, hey, you know anybody? And I went to a Central guy. I said, Central guy, you know anybody that could write, that would be reasonable, that would like to be trained and work hard? He's like, yes, Christian Boer. I see him hustle. He's the sports director at the Central Michigan paper. Work with him. And I took his advice, and man, did I get lucky. Christian is not only dogged in his work, he can take criticism, he pushes back, he's constructive in his work, very detail-oriented, and he survived me. And I was not easy to work with. And he's still around. Now, he's doing his own thing. He's got a love of coaching. He's got a love of teaching. He loves college basketball. He loves college basketball more than debating with me, but he still writes. And I want you to have the ultimate respect for Christian Boer. He's behind the scenes. You saw him on some podcast, but this year he's now a first-year college basketball coach. He'll come back on the podcast, but I wanted him to give the full effort to teach those kids. But he's a damn good writer and a damn good journalist. And a real journalist like him deserves credit. And that's why he writes for me. David Bailey, first pick. Offensive tackle, you go to Iowa. Jennings Dunker. 81.7 offensive grade, 80.9 run blocking PFF grade. You want a run blocker? Look to Iowa. Look at this. Look. Does that not look like a lion to you? This is a lion. We need a center, as people are saying in the chat, free agency. You can't flex seal the center position. You can't scotch tape it with a rookie. We'll go back to the flex seal analogy with this. Safety, Keon Cab from Alabama. Linebacker, Lander Barton from Utah. Oh, advertisement for this very podcast. What do you know? Good graphics, huh? I reached out to great friends and I said, hey, hook me up with your graphics guy. He's like, no problem, Doc. Yes, sir, Habibi. Thank you, AB. Love you, man. Tight end from a comp pick. Let's give you that name. Tanner Koziel from Houston. Pat Coogan from Indiana. And Jermaine Matthews, cornerback, Ohio State. A lot of our 7th round picks are going to be that Chicago Bears style where you replace David Montgomery. That's Dean Connors. I had the Alabama jammed in my mock draft. He went with Dean Connors. What do you think of this mock draft? Let's get your reactions. I'll post it right here for you. Boom. That's the mock draft, baby. Last couple minutes here. What do you think of Christian's mock draft and the mock draft roundup? Steve's like, no quarterback? Listen, we're trying to get the initial readers to stay on the page. I had Carson Beck in my mock draft. It's Jay Stees. Lander Burton is a dog. What position do you want at 15? Do you want a center? Listen, here's my opinion on it. I go, in my opinion, edge rusher, offensive lineman. I would go the position that effed you the most this year. You guys have lumbering, big ass offensive line, defensive linemen that don't rush the passer consistently enough against good teams. You're too slow. Oh, there goes Jalen Warren up the middle yet again. Oh, the offensive line let up another sack. Oh, you got outblocked again. Your zone run didn't work. Oh. I really appreciate no ads during your live streams. You know what? I probably haven't figured out how to turn it on. No problem. Listen, R. Rogers, in the end, if I ever end up doing it, you got to make money. I mean, in the end, you guys support it with super chats, liking it. You do it also, it helps keep the lights on. But just always rewind it or click skip if it ever pops up. I don't know how it works, or maybe I'm not big enough yet to have that. But of course, I'd like it. But I hear you. You like uninterrupted talks and all that stuff. But in the end, listen, let's not hate on the commercialization of the content here. I look at it like this. In regards to the offensive line, this year you flex sealed it. You tried it. Look, it plugs the holes. Look, no water leaks. Dan Campbell's on the boat, riding through. Look, this is great. We're good. We're good. We're good. Look at the flex seal. Look at the flex seal. Look. Look at the flex seal. Yeah, no. So, no. You got to go veteran. You got to go big. You got to pay. Can't Scotch guard flex seal this. The offensive line, you got to first figure out what the heck happened to Penei Sewell this year. Something was off. And that's to his own standard. Good year, but not all pro Penei Sewell year. Something was up with Penei Sewell. Maybe dinged up. He's probably going to hear that he was dealing with something. But him being like, I don't want to play on Christmas publicly, that's your leader. Mr. Penei, you're the leader, man. You set the tone. You played like it. What do you guys think of Fanu from Utah? Interesting, right tackle. I do think, Steve Wilds, the option is realistically there to move Penei Sewell to left and find somebody easier to play right. The dude's big, man. Looking at his size number, 6'6", 302. His name popped up on my list as well. That's a nice size. Reminds me of Dan Skipper. That's a big boy. Named to the Walter Camp preseason All-American first team. Outland Trophy finalist. Thanks for the name. Got in there early as a freshman. In 2024, named finalist for Polynesian College Football Player of the Year. Pair him with Penei. Polynesian brothers. Could do worse. Yeah, most people, it's going to be tough to land some of these, but we still got to talk about them. Fanu has great run tape. Good eyes. Absolutely. It's JC says trade back if Francis isn't there at 15. This is a year I also think that you trade players for picks. You need more picks. Yes. You need more picks. More picks. More. Trade players for picks and take them. Who's your draft crush right now in the first round? Steve Wilds. I think tackle is more important if Decker is gone. The best is the first ad, Flex Seal. You guys will laugh. You know what? I'm not going to lie to you. I'll never lie to you. I will boldly be up here and be like, for the right price, Flex Seal can even fix an NFL team. And you guys know that that's a shout out to you. Can I interest you in some Flex Seal? I know in the past I ripped on it for the abilities that it potentially does not have to fix NFL teams, but now I've been changed. I've been converted. It can fix an NFL team. It's so strong. I'm the doc for Flex Seal, and we'll all share a little laugh because I got paid, and I don't mean it. I'll be like, listen, guys, we got to put this in there. They'll be like, why the hell is he talking about Flex Seal fixing an NFL team? Be like, that's just a little shout out to my friendly Lone Wolves podcast community, the 500 people that are listening right now on a Saturday. Right? Dan Campbell, it's going to be the best, and I'll know that I made it. He'll be like, listen, Doc, I'll be like, Dan, at the end of the year presser, listen, the team regressed. Did your message kind of fall through this year? A lot of corrections weren't fixed. He'll look at me and be like, I'm not going to address that right now with you, but I just want to kind of just give you a quick assessment. I feel like you're the Flex Seal of podcasters. And then he'll just keep it moving. Next question. And it'll be perfect. You are the Flex Seal of this business. And I'll have a big smile on my face. And then the first thing I'll think of is, dog, listen to my podcast. Hell yeah. My nephew will be like, did you hear what he said? He called you the I'll be like, you listen to my podcast. That's pretty sweet. And that's what we do. I can't. That's the problem. I'm sitting here talking 2 hours nonstop. I can't shut it off. Once it got activated, I blame all you guys. You guys said, come do this. Once it got activated, I won't shut up. Won't stop, can't stop. I got to chase those Flex Seal dollars, Run Repub. I'm always chasing. It could be worse, right? I love it. This community is great. Even guys like One Repub, Crazy Clown, AG's Burner, Precision Staining. I like Carmi Ramsey in the second round. Like it. Gavis Con, stop with the edge draft picks. We got Ahmed coming in with all kinds of ability. But you might lose Davenport and Al-Qadim Mohammed to a raise. You need Ahmed's backup. And great competition will make Ahmed even better. Flex Seal my mouth. Guys, this is a good talk. Early talks now. Again, I will talk with Emmett intently on the draft. We will open it up to you guys. It'll just be, here's some players we're looking at. What do you think, Emmett? He'll talk, and you guys flash all your comments about what you think. You guys will be the draft experts as well as me. I'm not going to sit here and talk to you like I'm a draft wizard, but I focus in on defensive ends. I focus in a lot on linebackers in my evaluations. I'm now turning to quarterback because you guys need one. I'm turning my attention more to the offensive line because you guys need some depth. So, today's topic's really good. Thank you for listening in. Lovers and haters, it makes me feel good that you peek in a little bit, share your thoughts on a Saturday. It only helps. The haters are going to hate. I love it. It makes me happy. It's good debate. We talked about today on this fine episode, what changes do the Lions make? Drastic, bold, light. Where do they target a center for agency of the draft? Where do they target some of these positions? Frank Ragnow. Do you have it in your heart to say, man, how much does he get? How much does his departure cause? How much did it cause the Lions issues? Are you going to hate watch the Bears? Please, that's the only thing I'm going to ask for in this New Year's. Please don't let the Bears win the Super Bowl this year. No. The Lions need drastic changes, in my humble opinion, and it starts organizationally. I think over the last month, you've heard me say concretely, their philosophy ended up burning the house down. Now, nobody was injured, no fatalities, but we have a pit of darkness. And right now, this week, we're watering the pit of darkness. And we are assessing what happened. Not GFICI standard electricals, not enough fire detectors, not enough fire extinguishers, not enough carbon monoxide. Everything was older than it should be. So our first home has been burnt. But it doesn't mean that the next home will be worse. The first home they thought was good. And everybody was oohing and on when they were driving by the neighborhood. There were some people saying, oh, that house is going to have a problem. But they weren't loud enough. Now, everybody sees it. It's on television, broadcast every day. Oh, you're not in the playoffs. The house burnt down. Now you get to pick the best parts. You get to re-strategize the whole thing, and you get to hire the right contractor. You're not going to hire Fernando, who just started out of college. I'm sorry. I want to hire Senor Martin, who has 80 years experience, and his family's been in business since 1920, and he builds houses all over. I'm sorry. Fernando and Morton cannot build my home. Sorry. It's got to be Flores and Mike. They are a tandem that's been in business for 60 years. And damn it, Flores is not going to burn the house down. Flores is not going to have any man-to-man electrical work in this house. He's going to zone it properly. He's going to get the right approvals. He will go to the city and get the approvals. Flores will contract and construct this home properly. It'll be zoned properly. There'll be no leaks in this zone. There will be no leaks and no miscommunication in this zone. Every contract will be approved, and this home will have all the best stuff in it. All the equipment will be flown in. All the standards will be met. All the stuff we put in this house will be used right away. We are not going to draft or go to the utility store and buy wood to sit there for 2 years. All the wood will be used in this home immediately. All the contracted help that you got to hire out will work. Nobody quits. Nobody has maternity leave. Nobody has paternity leave. Nobody gets injured for the whole year. They will work on this house day and night, day and night, day and night, because they have a track record. Oh, you've been working for 20 years. You never stopped? Perfect. Be like, listen here, man. It says here you were out the last 2 years. What do you mean? Shoulder injury, clavicle injury. I need you to lift wood. You're not coming on this job. Go back to the Vikings job. You are not. That guy will be the guy like one repub who'll call in when his fingernail hurts. I can't work today. My fingernail hurts. We need this house built by September 1st. And I promise you, we will build it. And one of the important things is the quarterback, the offensive line, and every piece in it. So the contractors will be right. It'll be built nicely, and the philosophy will be right. And I promise you, there's a chance if we all get on the same page and we don't flex seal this anymore, the Lions will have a beautiful, sparkly home that you guys actually want to be in for 50, 60 years. We'll figure it out together. Fix the offensive line, get the right people in place, have the right philosophy. Instant impact draft picks. Free agency that actually produces better play than what you had, and aggressive. You need 3, 4 free agents. Pay. You need to hit on 5 draft picks minimum this year. And when the trade deadline comes, upgrade the team. Stop skipping steps. No flex seal, no scotch tape. You do all those things, now you just put yourself in the position like the 49ers to be in the conversation. Let's see what happens. And then, like anything else, I'll leave you with this. You could have the nice, pretty house. If you marry the wrong chick, you'll never be happy. Ever. Of everdom. Ever. If you marry the wrong person, that beautiful home will smell and never be right. What do you think I'm talking about in regards to the wife? Who is that in this analogy? Is it Goff? Is it Campbell? Holmes? Is it the owner? You better marry the right chick. You better. Or all that stuff we just talked about means nothing. There'll never be happiness. There'll never be joy in this beautiful house. I'm the Doc, John Macaroon. This has been the Lone Wolves podcast. Hopefully you thought about things. Hopefully you were entertained over these 2 hours. You guys entertained me with your thought-provoking content, thoughts. You guys are a major part of my community, and I'm very happy that we're together talking about these things, being entertained, laughing a little bit, and enjoying a Saturday afternoon. Freeway, just smash the like button. I just want to try to get to like 85 to 100 likes every show. That means a lot to me. And share it, comment. If you agree or disagree, tell me why the Lions can win with Flex Seal. Maybe they can, and I'm just wrong, but I haven't seen it yet. I'm John Macaroon. I represent the Detroit Sports Podcast, founded in 2013. I partnered with On SI, the greatest sports partner on earth. They let me be me, free, let me run my own schedule, let me run my own crew. They are amazing, and they've provided a platform for me to enjoy covering sports in the best way possible. I can't wait to fire it up. We'll probably talk again tomorrow after the game. Maybe not as long, it's the Bears game, but let's see if the Bears curb stomp the Lions. Here's my prediction. Bears are going to win. I think probably all my staff will predict that. Coverage, Lions on SI is available all day long. Podcasts on demand. We feature podcast stories. I'm a credentialed media member. I am your friendly, trusted Detroit sports podcaster. And I hope that the ideas that were expressed, and then always the caveat, the views expressed here by John Macaroon do not necessarily reflect those of SI, on SI, or those partners, affiliates, advertisers. The views expressed by John Macaroon reflect the views of John Macaroon. He's an experienced psychologist. He understands sports. He understands sports dialogue. He understands sports communication. And he loves interacting with the great citizens of Detroit. You love him or you hate him, but you're going to notice him. Peace and love. Let's talk tomorrow.